Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. In fact, this is the 400th vlog. 400 vlogs. Can you believe it? And this all started toward the end of December of 2016. And ever since then, I have been trying to come out with all kinds of content in the form of a vlog because it seems to be a little bit easier compared to when I was doing Mike's Vehicle Spotlight, which I tried to do again for a short time, but it just wasn't happening. Things in life change, and unfortunately, it just made doing MVS a lot more difficult compared to the old days when I was, 10, 11, 12 years younger, to be quite honest. So, kind of went over to a vlog format, and that's kind of where this channel has been. And it's really hard to believe that I've done 400 of these. It's amazing. That's a huge number. Now, granted, there are times where I may not have anything out right away. Like there was, I think, a time where, like in the beginning, I was able to come up with ideas and knocked vlogs out really quick. I had a nice stockpile of them. But, there's times where I'll go about a month or two sometimes and I won't have anything. So it is kind of hard. I know there are some channels out there, they try to get a vlog out like every, a couple out a week or something like that. I usually try to aim for one a week, and I usually try to have it done on a weekend for upload. Sometimes I miss that mark, but it is what it is. Like I said, unfortunately I have other priorities. The YouTube thing, I can't make a full-time living off of it, so I got other things I got to take care of. But again, here we are, 400 vlogs, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk actually about what my favorite vlogs have been over the last 400 of them. Or I guess technically 399. This one really wouldn't count as that, but you know what I mean. I've got quite a few, but there are a lot that actually stick out in my mind, and I'm going to tell you, why I've decided to make a video and tell you what my favorite vlogs have been throughout all of this. But before we start that, I also want to mention the fact that I am still feeling the effects of the COVID, which I had about 2 weeks ago at the point of me filming this. A lot of this is cleared up. I am definitely feeling a lot better in that aspect. I do, from time to time, have a slight cough. There's still stuff in there that is kind of loose and whatnot. So there's that, but I am in the safe zone at this point. Still feeling periods of tiredness. In fact, right before I decided to do this, I felt pretty good. And as this is being filmed, I am feeling really tired all of a sudden. So the weakness thing is coming in waves now. So give me like another hour or so and I'll probably feel back to energetic. I don't know. It's really weird. Still occasional soreness here and there, but we are working through it. But I'm doing a lot better compared to the last couple times that you guys had seen me on camera. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But that being said, I also don't feel like doing a whole lot as far as being outside or anything. So, the last vlog and this vlog and maybe the next vlog, I don't know. Train's here. We may be just sitting here at the desk and I might just come up with some topic to talk about until I am back to feeling 100%. But we'll see where it goes. So that's another reason why I decided to do one here from the desk today, because I am still kind of recovering and feeling the effects of my first unhealthy dosage of COVID-19. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. And one other thing I want to mention as of today my brother and I know I've talked about this in a couple of previous vlogs, but we have a band. We are called Adams, and we are finally really starting to get the ball rolling on getting music out there. So, that being said, today I just finished working on our, what would technically be our actual debut EP. Um, and it features 3 songs, 2 of which will be on our upcoming full-length album, which now that we have a method of recording and stuff, we're probably going to be working on that over the next, few weeks, and hopefully before, maybe spring or summer gets here, we will have a full-length album, full-length album for everybody to hear. But our Spinner and I Want to Like You EP has just been submitted to the streaming services, and it will be online for everybody to listen to probably by the time that this vlog is uploaded. So I know from today we sent it to the streaming services, and it takes about a week to get it live on streaming service. So this vlog here is probably about 2 weeks out. So by the time this is aired, this EP should be available if you are interested. We had a Christmas EP that we put out at the right before Christmas. That was kind of like a kickstart thing, and just a little fun project for my brother and I to do. Got a lot of positive feedback on it so far, so I'm hoping our actual music will also get some positive feedback as well. So again, we are called Adams, ATAMS, and we are now on Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, iTunes. So you can find the Christmas album there if you want. It's still going to be there for streaming. And this upcoming EP that we just submitted today should be out by the time you guys are watching this video. Give it a listen. We appreciate it, and let us know what you think. So now we are in the topic of today's vlog, which is my favorite vlogs that I've done so far throughout the 400 vlogs of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. Now, some of these, there may not be a whole lot to why they're my favorite. I'm not going to, go into a whole lot of, detail with all of these, because I do have quite a list, actually, of ones that I thought were actually really good vlogs. I will say, not every vlog that I put out is a home run to me, anyway, Sometimes I will record something and, it may seem like it was worth it at the time, but then, give it a few watches later and it's like, this one really didn't, do it. Could always unupload them, but why would I do that? We're just going to leave it up there. Somebody might find interest in it. Or maybe not, and it'll just sit there without any views for an amount of time, But that's okay, that's just something that I think any content creator honestly has to deal with. They may think that they've got a good idea, but they might revisit it, and it's probably not the greatest thing ever. So when I say that these vlogs here are my favorite, these ones definitely mean, something either special or something awesome to me, or just something that I have had a great interest in, even after filming that particular subject or vehicle or whatever it is that we talk about in the vlog. So I'm going to start these off with the oldest vlog, the oldest ones, and work our way up to the later ones. Seems to be the easiest way to do it. But the first one here that I mention is the 26th vlog that we'd ever done. And that was a 1997 Dodge Intrepid. So, yeah, there was a 97 Dodge Intrepid that showed up at the one dealership that I used to film at all the time. It was actually a car that they took in on trade. Had just been prepped and detailed, about a day or so after it was traded in, and then it ended up selling the very next day. So that was actually how pristine that this Intrepid was, and I think that's why it's one of my favorite vlogs ever that I've done, because of the fact that as a kid, I really, for some reason, had a fascination with the Chrysler vehicles of the 90s and early 2000s anyway. Probably because we had actually had a mid 90s Plymouth Voyager minivan, and I just really liked that van a lot. So for some reason, as I was younger, I took an interest briefly on the Chrysler vehicles of that time period. And around here, living in the Salt Belt, where we have harsh winters, and the roads around here are awful in the wintertime, and the salt and all that stuff. Cars typically don't last too long around here, in the form of, as far as how clean and how stable and stuff they are, because of the fact that the rust will eat at everything due to our winters. But this 97 Dodge Intrepid was pretty exquisite. In fact, it was really clean. I didn't see really any rust on it. There might have been a little bit here and there. The car only had 47,000 miles on it. So when I had found out that the dealership actually took this in on trade, I was very excited to actually go see it and document it for the vlog. So it was one of those personal interest cars, but like I said, I'm glad that I got to kind of capture it. It was a very nice car. I definitely wouldn't have minded having that car for myself if I had resources to buy a car like that. And that's pretty much one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite vlogs. That's a vlog that I had actually watched over and over again, just at the pure fact that this 97 Intrepid was in really, really amazing shape for this particular area, and only 47,000 miles. So I wonder if that person is still driving that car. I would hope so, for the lack of mileage that it has on it. But that vlog was filmed in 2017, so it's been probably almost 6 years now since we did that vlog, and about 6 years since that owner bought it. So who knows where it's at now. Alright, so I finished taking my pictures, and we're gonna go park it now, and I'll turn the keys back in. So yeah, 97 Intrepid. I mean, just in general, the styling and such of this car just seemed like it was ahead of its time. I mean, I really love the way the last generation looked, but there's just something really awesome about the way that this car looks. And I think like part of it has to do with maybe the back here, how it just looks like it has like this wrap around because of that black accent. So it looks like the window connects to the doors and such. I mean, the headlights and the front grille has an awesome look to it. This here, I mean, we know they kept they kept this as their signature for the car too, on the last generation Intrepid. Sweet. Next favorite vlog on the list here is the 36th vlog that I had ever filmed. It's the wedding vlog. I like this vlog particularly because it involves traveling, and I like to, when I feel like it, or when I have the opportunity, I like to film a vlog where we're traveling. And this was a good vlog because we were traveling to Columbus, which is about, roughly a 3-hour drive from here. And it was actually the first time that we really put the 2015 Ford Fiesta to the test. We had just bought in the Fiesta earlier that year. Again, this was also in 2017, and this we bought the Fiesta in January of that year, and this wedding that we were going to was at the end of March. So we'd only had the Fiesta for a few months, and I thought that this was going to be also a good test to see exactly how good the fuel economy of the Fiesta was, and it did phenomenal. Also, I ended up filming the wedding. I wasn't supposed to film our friend's wedding, but since I did have, bring the camera, they asked me if I would do it. And yeah, so we got some, nice wedding footage in, and overall it was just a nice trip. We stayed out there for 2 nights and came home on, the third morning. And it was just nice to get away from home. like I said, our good friends, finally tied the knot, and it was nice to be a part of that. My wife was actually in the wedding, so we got to see some of that also. And yeah, proved that the Fiesta had pretty good fuel economy. So I like that vlog for that reason. It's got traveling. We put a car to a test, and two people committed the rest of their lives to each other. So it was a good vlog. I enjoyed making that one, and I enjoy watching that one from time to time also. Fazoli's, pasta, pizza. Now I don't know what I want. Should I do the pasta or the pizza?
Pasta? You want pasta?
I do, but I like pizza too.
Get the pasta. They used to have like a sampler thing where you got like a couple different things.
Oh boy. Salad, tortellini, and penne. Well, I'm full. It didn't look like it was going to be enough on that plate. Plus the nice, decently sized side salad. But I'm full.
Me too.
That was actually a pretty good portion. Little!
Yay! Aw. Little.
Hi, honey. Now, no surprise, the 56th vlog that I have here is look what I found. Yeah, we found a 2003 Pontiac Aztek. So this vlog in particular kind of kickstarted a couple of things. For one, it was technically the gateway to the entire Backlot series, which was part of my vlogs for quite a while. Unfortunately, I can no longer do those Backlot videos. It's been quite some time since I've done any of them. But at the time, that was kind of the first technically Backlot car video. Was this decrepit 2003 Pontiac Aztek with, I think it had well over 200,000 miles on it. She was beat, man. It was in bad shape. Apparently the car was traded into the dealership that I had worked at. At some point, they sent it to auction, and it sat at the auction for a long time. And eventually, if they don't sell at one auction, finally they end up coming back to the dealership, where the dealership is going to kind of determine its fate on whether they want to send it to another auction or if they just want to send it off to the scrapyard. I honestly do not know what the fate of this particular Aztek was. I was thinking maybe it was time for the scrap, but I did not. I don't know where it went after it left the journey, or after it came back, I should say. But while it was there, I wanted to take a look at it because the other thing was it resembled much of my previous 2003 Pontiac Aztek. It was the same color, the same year, same wheels, same interior fabric, and all that, So it was like an identical twin, except the fact that it was actually a lot worse than what my '03 Aztek was when I had it. Another thing too is, I wanted to hear it run, and I wasn't sure if I should try and start it yet because some of these cars are kind of dangerous if they're coming back from auction. Most of the backlot cars that I used to actually start up, I'd always be kind of nervous to start them. Never know what's going to happen. I had one Buick that I started one time for a backlot video, and it started smoking under the hood, and the valve cover, oil all over it, and it was leaking onto the exhaust for quite some time. So I was kind of afraid it was going to catch on fire, but luckily it didn't. But this Aztek ran. I was actually really surprised that it ran pretty decently. We had to jump start it, so the battery on it wasn't very good. But yeah, the other thing that kind of kicked off was the fact that I had missed my Aztek so much. It had been, I think, 6 years at that point since I had gotten rid of my Aztek, my first one. And I think that was the video and the actual car itself, that kind of inspired me to maybe find another one because I'd missed it so much. So that particular vlog kind of jump-started, in a way, the entire Aztek theme for the channel for a while. In fact, there were a lot of other Aztec videos that came after that, where I I could have put them on this list, but I wasn't going to, obviously, because of the fact that I don't want this whole thing to be Aztec related. But, I did end up coming across other Aztecs that were either traded into the dealership. One of them I actually tried to buy, but it didn't work out. Actually, two of them I thought about, or I attempted to buy, but again, no go. I wasn't able to pull it off. And that's kind of what also got me looking for, Aztecs elsewhere. And we ended up getting the $400 one, which became a staple on the channel for quite some time. So, yeah, this vlog here, that's my reasoning for one of my favorites on all the videos that I've done. I feel really bad for that Aztec though, man. Wonder what happened to it.
The tech was my main reason for this video. Tires flat. Poor girl. Well, I obtained the jumper box. Hopefully this works out okay. So I guess we are gonna find out to see if how good this thing runs. Alright, so I had connection. I guess we're gonna go ahead and give this a try. We got power. Almost got a full tank of gas if the gauge is right. Low brake fluid. Oh man. Oh, she runs good. She's got a little squeak, but oh man, she sounds good. Doesn't sound like the exhaust is loud or anything. Oh man, poor girl. She's running like a champ. There's no oil level. Wow, that's amazing. This poor tech is going to go away for, well, it running good just makes me feel really bad now that it's going anywhere. But obviously it just looks like a piece of crap, and I really wish that this stupid thing wasn't here. See, that's why I don't like these things. All that dirt and stuff leaves marks. Who knows how long it's been on there. But anyway.
So the next one is the vlog directly after that one. It's number 57, and it's called It Always Storms in Columbus. And this is another traveling vlog. So basically, there really wasn't anything car related in this video. My wife and I had to make another trip down to the Columbus area. And I just felt like doing just a daily type vlog. I just wanted to kind of document the events throughout my day while we were traveling down to Columbus. Again, it's another traveling vlog, so I like filming some driving shots through the areas. And on this particular day, there was a lot of severe weather coming through, and that's another thing that I like. So we have the severe weather mixing in with the vlog, so it was a good vlog for many reasons. And I don't know, that's just another one of my favorite vlogs. There was it's always storms in Columbus. I think it kind of does. I think they usually get a lot of severe weather, which is kind of weird. But right now I'm gonna go, I think, just grab some lunch. Man, it's still coming down. Whew, all those weather alerts. Oh man, guys, it's times like this where I really wish at some point in my life I have or hope to plan on investing in an umbrella. Just the parking lot at this apartment complex. The water running over the Nice thing about Fazoli's is they actually have a drive-through, so I don't have to get out in the rain. The drive-through carnage. Boy. I am like a storm fanatic. So even though it's been like storming and stuff the entire time I've been down here today, I've had a blast.
Turn left on Morse Crossing.
Clouds over there are irritating. Oh, I saw the bolt in their, window in the mirror. Oh, so that was probably like right above us. That lightning bolt. Oh. That was awesome. That's it. We're moving down here just for the weather.
I hope Paul's not actually going to be...
I announced it. So my next favorite vlog is, of course, vlog number 103, and this was the day that we brought home my actual project Aztek. So the 2001 Pontiac Aztek GT makes its first debut in this particular vlog. It's kind of a lengthy vlog. It's about an hour long, and it documented the us actually traveling to the Cleveland area, which is where I ended up buying the Aztek from. We rented a trailer, and my good friend Dennis, who is no longer with us, unfortunately, my best friend, he helped us get it home. So we used his truck, we rented a trailer, and basically I documented us, we bring in the Aztek home. We get it home, and then I give you guys a tour on what the Aztek looks like. So she was kind of a mess. Definitely needed engine work. We had to do head gaskets, intake gaskets. Basically, an entire top-end rebuild is what we did. But we had to do suspension eventually. We had to do all the fluid lines, brake lines, power steering lines, transmission lines. Like I said, all the suspension had to be done. We had to get some tires for it. What else was there? Little things here and there, like hood struts, lift gate struts. Yeah, so she turned out to be quite a big project over the course of like 2 years. But, we got it sorted out, and that car became just as awesome as I had been imagining it to be in my mind the entire time I was working on it. But I like this vlog because, again, we are introducing this Aztek to the channel, and we're taking a look at basically how it was. And I like to look at it and kind of compare it to, what it turned out to be, which it turned out to be in a lot better condition when I got rid of it compared to how it was. So it was definitely well worth the project, and I miss that car deeply. So that's why that's one of my favorite vlogs. It was the start of... Well, actually, it was the start of a lot of things. I mean, it actually got me into wanting to work on cars as a career. So, I mean, yeah, that particular vlog and that car right there, that was the that opened the door. So, yeah, again, that's another one of my favorite vlogs right there, meeting my new 2001 Pontiac Aztek. So here's our gauge cluster, driver information display. Obviously, automatic headlights, they're on now. I can't really do anything. Message center again. Various vehicle warnings at this time. The gas gauge, not 100% sure right now if it's going to be accurate or not. He said that's about where it was when it was parked. Again, I won't know until I start driving it, but who knows, Signals work. High beams work. These are the only things right now that don't light, but hey, who cares? Look at the stereo. It just looks great.
Like a week ago.
6-disc CD changer. Haven't really messed with anything yet.
This is like a new type. I don't know. It's a fancy one. Yeah.
So, but yeah, look, it all works. The display even lights up, which is unbelievable. I could show you guys real quick. I just can't keep it on for too long. Oh, not getting enough connection, I don't think. So there she goes.
and she'll run on her own. I can disconnect the cables if I wanted to, and it'll run. But that's what she sounds like. As you can see, like I said, I don't think there's any assist going to the power steering or the rack, so we'll have to worry about that, you know, at some point when we get to it. But yeah, so that's what it sounds like. We're gonna do some like tips and tricks. We're gonna obviously do the repairs. Anything that I could think of, you know. Once we get it running too, we'll take it places. I want to buy the camper, the tent at some point, maybe take it out and actually do some camping, who knows. We're gonna find reasons to get this thing documented. This is Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. This is probably the only channel on YouTube that fully appreciates the Aztek and all of its quirks.
The next vlog on my list, and this is for a lot of nostalgic reasons, vlog number 121. Revisiting my first car, sort of. And in this vlog, we actually traveled about an hour and a half away from home into the great state of Pennsylvania. What do they call that? The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I went to go look at a 1993 Pontiac Sunbird LE. This was a car that I had stumbled upon on Craigslist. Even though I had bought my Aztek recently, actually, while that vlog was still, while we filmed that vlog there, I still was, you know, kind of looking on Craigslist to see what cars were out there and, you know, just typing in random models. And at one point I decided to search for a Sunbird, which a 94 Pontiac Sunbird LE Coupe was my very first car, also known as Red Lightning. I absolutely loved that car. That car, oh, it was a heap of junk technically, but man, it was a good car. And that's another car that I miss dearly out of all the cars that I've owned. So I stumbled across this 93 Pontiac Sunbird LE. Only had like 50-some thousand miles on it. It was clean. Owner wanted $3 grand for it, but you know, I obviously didn't have $3 grand to spend on a car. But I did contact this gentleman anyway and asked him if it would be okay for me to come down there and actually document the car for this channel, which he said that's no problem. So as soon as I left work that day, we traveled down to Butler, PA is where it was, and yeah, I got to look at this Sunbird, and boy, did it bring back so many nostalgic feelings. This car was nearly identical to mine. The color wasn't the same, the wheels weren't the same, but everything else was pretty much the same. Even the interior had the same scent as mine did. I can't describe it, but some of the older Pontiacs have like the fabric kind of has like this, I don't know, sweet smell or something. And this car definitely had it. It was great. I loved it. And I really wish I had the money to buy the car because I would have bought it on the spot right there. So that's another reason why that's, you know, one of my favorite vlogs. And it was awesome revisiting that car, especially one that was in as great a shape as that one was in particularly. Again, like I said, cars around here in this area usually don't last long because of the rust and the snow and stuff. So that was another one of them gems that I'm glad I got to kind of capture on camera.
And she's only got 51,000 miles on it.
Yep.
Amazing.
Man, it starts right up. How about that?
Sounds so good too. It sounds just like mine did. So this has the exact same engine that mine had. This 2-liter 4-cylinder. Yep. It literally, like, it even sounds. The one thing I've always liked about this engine, and I wonder if it'll do it, that woo noise.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the timing belt inside there.
Well, yeah.
But I just always love that noise. Like, like I have to keep saying that when I came across like your ad and just saw the condition of it, these cars, I mean, I know it's a Summer. A lot of these people are just like, oh, it's a junk car, you know?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I kind of appreciate all cars.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't see these in as great a shape as this.
No, no.
In the mileage alone.
Number 142 is my next favorite vlog. Is this Malibu the greatest car ever? The reason why this is one of my favorite vlogs is because this has to pertain to my mom's 2004 Chevrolet Malibu Classic. And throughout the entire history of the vlog series, especially early on, I did talk about a lot of family cars. Cars that I've owned, cars that my family's owned. This vlog here kind of served as the purpose for this particular Malibu that my mom at the time had for 12 years. Basically, this car was an amazing car. She just had, I think it was like 105,000 miles or somewhere around there. It was, 100 and some thousand miles on it. And basically, that car was like, the car was amazing. It was a car that my entire family had actually driven. You know, we all beat it up. We all drove it and put it through, all kinds of crap, and she had the battle scars to prove it. But that car or that video served as the whole backstory of the car and how we got the car and why the car was just so awesome. I actually just detailed it earlier that day, and of course it rained when I went to go film the vlog, so some of it was kind of disappointing. The fact that I just cleaned it and we had a storm come in. But yeah, so another reason why I like that vlog so much is because it was probably about a week after I filmed that vlog that my mom had actually decided to get rid of it. Even though she loved the car and she was kind of reluctant to get rid of it, she wanted to get something that was a little higher up. She was having a hard time getting in and out of that car. Her legs and her knees have been giving her problems for years now. So she finally decided that it was time to move on from it. And she traded it in for a short-lived 2009 Kia Sportage, which I convinced her to get rid of after 1 year. So we got a 14 Escape, and that's what she's got now. So that video there is one of my favorites because that video was the official testament to that particular Malibu and how great that car has been. Yeah, still miss that car. We still miss that car dearly. The last that I knew, somebody bought it from the dealership and they took it to Florida and they were going to leave it in Florida because I guess they have like a vacation house down there or something. So when they're traveling to stay in Florida, I guess that's where they leave the car there so they can drive around Florida or whatever they do. So I don't know if it's down there still, but hopefully it's still in good use.
We bought the car at 2 years old. It was in April of 2006. It had 38,000 miles on it when we bought it. It now has just about 106,000. There's things wrong with it, but nothing serious has really gone on this car yet. As we can see here, we finally have our first hole. This fender is not the original fender that came on the car. If you look at the headlights, we have water in them. Same goes for the back tail lights. They collect water as well. Everything that this car has from front to back, inside and out, is all standard equipment. There is no optional equipment on here whatsoever. If you want basic, this is as basic as the Chevrolet Malibu Classic is going to be. That hubcap looks nearly brand new. I'm just getting soaked. And the other one is pretty close. It's not perfect. Ah, jeez. Scrubbed the carpets, I scrubbed the seats. and they really do look a heck of a lot better than they did for the last, you know, all the years since we've had it. No support whatsoever, so I mean these seats have been way over worn in. The front bumper is only a couple years old. It's not the original bumper, and when she went to back out the driveway, she clipped that and it broke the entire chunk off of the front bumper, of the original front bumper. The back window is also a couple of years old because a tree branch in my mom's driveway, again during the winter, fell through the window and completely busted it out. You can't really see it now, but there's a dip in the hood somewhere. Still has the original alternator. We'll know. We don't know how long that'll last. Original water pump, original timing stuff. I mean, just about everything on this car is still original on the engine. And she still runs really good. So that's really the story of the 2004 Chevrolet Malibu Classic.
155 is my next favorite vlog, and it's called Minivans Are Awesome. There's a couple of reasons why I like this one. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this one, but for one, I like the whole fact that I decided to dedicate a whole vlog to the minivan, one of the most unappreciated types of vehicles on the road, if you can still get them. Which is another reason why I made that vlog in particular, because there aren't too many car manufacturers out there who are still making minivans. You know, obviously the SUVs and the crossover market completely wiped out the SUV or the minivan. So we made a vlog about that. I also just like the fact that I decided to dress up in my best dad attire for that vlog, and I am not a dad, so hopefully I nailed it. And another fun thing about this particular vlog is driving to my mom's house, because my mom had always, you know, had minivans when we were growing up. So I thought it'd be kind of funny to see her reaction to me driving this minivan, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good reaction. In this video, it was I think it was a 2011 or 2012 Toyota Sienna that was featured in this particular vlog. And it was a nice van, and I am not going to lie, you know, I would totally drive that thing on the daily, again, if I had the resources. Have I actually thought about buying a minivan as a project? Yes, I have. I for sure have.
But I just honestly like driving it. Is it socially unacceptable? Maybe. Do I look like a dad while I'm driving this? I think that's what I'm going for today. I'm in a minivan. I tried to put on some father attire, and it's Saturday. I'm just a Saturday morning father out for what? What do fathers do on a Saturday morning? Do they get coffee? I'm sure if they had kids, and then they'd be taking their kids to baseball practice or something.
Oh my God, what is this? What? This is huge.
It's a minivan.
That's what minivans look like today?
Yeah.
But you don't sit high.
Oh yeah, you do.
Well, maybe it's just me. Okay, so what's the story on this? Oh, it is a topic of a video. Oh God, you're filming. Oh my God, I'm over here.
This is the best van I've ever driven.
Are you kidding?
Mm-mm. This is like nothing compared to the vans that you used to have.
Yeah, it's a lot of room back there. I remember those days when... What? Get out.
I mean, you'd have to move it closer probably, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I do. Wow. Nice. No fighting back there.
The official mom tone in that one.
182 is the next vlog on my list. The Aztec lives, or does it? This particular vlog kind of wraps up the whole Aztec rebuild segment as far as the engine part goes. Well, we did a little bit of everything in between. So while the engine was torn apart, that's kind of when we did a lot of the fluid line exchanges and all that stuff. But this vlog in particular concludes the entire engine rebuild, and it was time for us to see if it actually runs. And that's honestly my favorite part of this video. Before this, I had never torn an engine apart, and I had never done anything other than like oil changes and brake jobs on cars. This was basically the first time of knowing if I had successfully rebuilt an engine. So, does it live? Yes, it did. We captured it on video, the very first start of the Aztec after its rebuild. And it didn't run the best. It was still running really, I don't want to say it was bad, but it wasn't running the greatest. And now that it was actually running, we were able to kind of trace down a couple of other issues to try to get it to run as best as I could anyway. Eventually, you know, if you've seen the entire Aztec saga, you know, even before I got rid of it, you know, it still wasn't running right. I'm starting to wonder, or I was wondering, if it was an actual hardware issue in the engine, if the heads that I bought maybe weren't 100% like I was told they were. We did have to replace the heads. So maybe one of the heads wasn't completely flat or smooth, or maybe they were warped a little bit. I was told that they were tested and checked for warpage and stuff, but who knows? I didn't really have all the resources at the time that I made that anyway, so, you know, at the time I just kind of took everybody's word for it. But it still had a miss when it was at idle. Seemed to run fine, not at idle. We checked everything from, you know, injectors, spark plugs, coil pack, compression, everything that I could think of, which the only thing that could, you know, it could have been possibly was maybe there was a valve you know, that was stuck or something at idle. I don't know, but she didn't run the best, but she still ran. Starting in vlog 182. So that's why it's one of my favorites, for that reason.
Well, she's trying. Ooh. I'm really surprised this battery is still going. Yeah. No way. Yes! Yes! Yes, it lived! No way! What? I hit the starter after when it was still rotating. No way! No way!
And another Aztec vlog follows from there. Aztec 222, which is called My First Aztec and Me. And basically, this Aztec video was just about my old Aztec. I had recovered a lot of video footage that I had never really... I hadn't used all of it anyway for, you know, any vlog or anything. And it documented my time with my very first Aztec. So the video runs from 2007 to 2011, and just has various bits and pieces of video that included my very first Aztec. So again, it's one of those nostalgic videos for me, and that's why it's one of my favorite ones.
No, it won't. Oh! Aww. We're going to trade in the 2003 Pontiac Aztec. Farewell, my friend. You've been great, and I will miss you.
.242, of course, is the next favorite vlog of mine. It's another Aztec one. It's my Aztec's first drive. And this was another one of the big vlogs for the channel because the Aztec sat in my driveway for, a long time in pieces. And in this particular vlog, it was time to take it out on its maiden voyage. And that's, again, another reason why it's one of my favorite vlogs, because we actually get to put the car to the test and see if everything that I did do to it actually holds up. And again, it was one of those videos where, we actually learned more about what's wrong with the Aztec. The first 30 seconds into the drive, the brake warning and the chime started sounding, and it's because, well, turns out we had a bad wheel speed sensor in the back, and it thought the parking brake was still engaged on the one wheel. So it wasn't getting any wheel signal, and it made the brake warning come on like the parking brake was on. So that's one thing that we learned about the car on that drive. But other than that, and the fact that it didn't have a fourth gear in the transmission. But we can live without that. Other than that, it's one of my favorite vlogs for the fact that I was finally able to drive that car for the very first time. And for the most part, other than those two little hiccups there, like I said, that car turned out to be everything I wanted it to be. And it was a very successful first drive. So that was a good one.
I don't know if the gas gauge in this thing works 100%. It brought it up to about a half a tank. It's dropping. That thing hasn't been sitting that tank hasn't been that full in a long time. Well, it's handling all these bumps and stuff okay. Guess I'll go this way here. I gotta disable the ride control. Okay, we're at 20 miles an hour. There it is. I wonder what that is. I wonder why it's doing that. And there's really no way for me to shut it up, unfortunately. But my service engine light's not on yet. It's at 35. It's at 36, 37. Brakes still feel okay. Transmission's shifting really good. I mean, it's not throwing jerks or anything. It feels fine. If you turn the music on, you can probably ignore the ding.
Number 250 is another one of my favorite vlogs. It is called Sunday Campout. This was just a fun vlog in general. So my neighbor found out when I bought my Aztec, that I had an Aztec now, and him and his wife many years ago had one of the first Aztecs. So they ordered it in 01, and they had it for a while, and they ordered the camping package for it also when it first came out. They never used it. So he was cleaning out his garage, and he decided to give it to me. He gave me the entire Aztec camping package, completely unopened, still in the UPS box, delivered to his house, dated in like 2000. And yeah, this was the vlog I decided to give it a shot. So it was on a Sunday afternoon, or Sunday morning I should say, and I decided it was going to be a nice day, it was time to bust this thing out. So we documented us, putting it together, and it was kind of confusing at first, but overall, once you kind of get it around the car the first time, you kind of figure it out pretty easily. And had the air mattress, so we blew up the air mattress, and once it was all set, I literally spent the entire Sunday out there. And my wife came out, and we got some McDonald's, and we brought the laptop out. We filled up the cooler with some Coca-Cola, and literally just spent the afternoon sitting in that car watching like Friends on Netflix and stuff, eating McDonald's, and it was just a good day to do it. And then, even after she went in the house, I laid out there for the rest of the day, and I watched some like South Main Auto on YouTube and did a couple of things, and maybe I think I took a small nap for a few minutes. I mean, it was just a nice day to spend out there in the tent of the Aztec. That also comes at a time where it was actually one of the last like free weekends that I had left, because I'm pretty sure the week after that Sunday, I think, was when I was supposed to actually start school. So while I remember being in that tent and just kind of reflecting on the change that was coming to my life, in the days to come. And yeah, so I mean, when I see that video, I remember thinking big things are happening. I was scared at the same time, but I just knew change was coming, hopefully for the better. I was going to start working my way to being an auto tech, and like I said, that was just one of the last free weekends I remember having where I felt like I really didn't have to care a whole lot about anything other than my job. So that was a good vlog. That was a good day. I enjoyed that one, and that's why the Sunday campout is one of my favorite vlogs out of all of these. Got the good old laptop. We're going to watch some YouTube and or Netflix. Nobody feels like cooking today, so we got ourselves a McDonald's $10 box. Or $11.99 is what it is now, so we're going to eat some food. I'm thirsty. Let's see. Got the cooler full of soft drinks. I love this. I never get rid of this car.
That one's, pretty close. Close enough for the time being, anyways.
Alright guys, so at this point in time, it is 6:15. The sun is starting to go away now. So as much as I would like to stay out here a little longer, I gotta start cleaning all this stuff back up. Which, that ice has been sitting in there since like noon. And it looks like it is actually held in there. It's still pretty solid and cold, so that's very impressive. The cooler seems to legitimately work. That's the first time I've ever used the Aztec cooler. Even when I had my old one, never used the cooler. It was always just my storage console. Alright, so that's it. Looks like we didn't even have anything. Didn't even have anything set up. Alright guys, so I'm going to call it a day. Hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog. Hope you guys got to kind of see what a brand new camping package would look like, and how it's kind of set up. I don't know if there's any videos out there that kind of show you how it's set up or how to do it. I honestly wouldn't imagine many. 264 is the next vlog, and this one is definitely one of my favorites because it is a blast from the past. Right before I quit the dealership that I was working at, where I was taking photography of all the cars and stuff and had access to backlot cars, a yellow 2012 Ford Focus hatchback was traded in, and I recognized this particular Focus, particularly because of the fact that this one had the black wheels, and it had these weird stripes with the Focus name on it, which is something that was not factory. This particular Focus just so happened to be a Focus that was featured on Mike's Vehicle Spotlight back when it was brand new in 2011. And this particular one was the one that I did a road test on. So when this Focus was still brand new at the dealership, they loaned it out to me for a whole 24 hours. And I got to do a whole test drive video on it. And then, they used it as a loaner. So it was loaned out, and then somebody, had actually brought the car. And here it is. It was like 9 years later at that time. It got traded in. And I knew it was the same one for sure because I accidentally, I should say, had the window sticker all of these years. And the VIN matched up to the window sticker. So we were reunited for the first time and only time so far. We were reunited with a car that was featured on my Mike's Vehicle Spotlight series. And we actually got to see how it held up over the years and such. Now, it had a lot of mileage on it, so somebody definitely drove it. I think it was just shy of 100,000 miles, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it kind of got beat here and there. It started to rust in certain spots. But again, where we are, that's pretty common. There's really nothing you could do about it. But overall, it still drove, or ran pretty well. I didn't get to drive it, unfortunately, this time. But yeah, so it's definitely one of my favorite vlogs for the fact that we got to see how a car that I featured so long ago, it came back, it came home, and we got to visit it, and we got to see how it was doing. And that's why it's one of my all-time favorite vlogs out of all of these.
My overall opinion on it is it's actually held up pretty well over the course of 9 years and 93,000 miles. I mean, that's pretty good, other than the slight cosmetics. But being that this is Ohio, it is what it is. We're gonna rust. Doesn't matter what you've got, eventually it's gonna rust. This is the window sticker, guys. It's really funny that I have had this in a storage tote all these years, and every time I would come to that storage tote and I dig through it to find something else, I would find the sticker, and I've always debated on whether I should throw it away or hold on to it, and I've always held on to it, not knowing that I would ever make contact with this vehicle again. I mean, that is insane. I mean, I'm excited about this. I'm really cool. And I want to show you guys, just so you guys see that this is the actual car that was documented. We'll go off this so it doesn't show the whole VIN, but up here, those are the last few digits of the VIN, CL118655. And if we go outside, that's it. This is the car. I figured maybe you guys would believe me, but just so you know. So, the original sticker, unbelievable. We'll leave this with it. It has been reunited. I have no idea how many people have had this car since I last saw it. So there it is, in the glove box. We'll leave it there. How awesome is that? The 2012 Ford Focus SE that we looked at back in the summer of 2011, here with us today. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Well, it appears as though I had a technical issue with the last of the footage that I had originally recorded for this very vlog, and now I have to redo the end of it. So if you've actually made it this far into the vlog, I do want to thank you. I do have just a few more vlogs that I want to talk about and why they are my favorites. There's just a couple more left here that I want to cover, and then you guys can do whatever you need to do. Or you can do it now. I don't know. One of the cats just walked in. Hey, Dunk. Dunko. This dude's very awkward. He doesn't like to be held. Carry on. So, my next vlog that I would like to consider as one of my favorites happens to be vlog 331, a Saab 9.3 valve cover gasket replacement. And the reason why this is one of my favorite vlogs is because, for one, it actually introduces the 2006 Saab 9.3 that we have currently in my possession. And this was actually before I had even owned it. My stepsister still had the car as her own, and we had to do a valve cover gasket on it. So that's one reason why it actually introduced that car to the channel originally. But two, it was kind of fun to be able to do somewhat of a bigger job on a car that is not necessarily, well, it wasn't mine then, but you know, it didn't have to do with you know, the Grand Am or any of the other cars that I had. We had an outside car for a change, and we had a pretty decent job to do at that. So I thought it was pretty good. It also, you know, gave us a look at the inside of the engine of the Saab, which didn't look too bad for almost 200,000 miles. So I know that engine, for the most part, has been pretty well maintained, and it was just a pretty cool vlog to do. Yeah, just for those reasons alone.
You shouldn't have any gasket sticking up. It should all be perfectly smooth and flat when you're doing these types of gaskets. Okay, and then we'll go here, here, it actually drives pretty nice. I've never actually driven a Saab. Oh, I lied. It's got 189,000. I thought it was 186. Got our key out here. Let's go ahead and give it a start and see. Make sure there's nothing new coming up. I think it's going to be okay. I'll let it run for a while, and then we'll get ready to do the oil change on it. She got some boom in the back.
That being said, I also enjoyed doing vlog 357, which happened to be the Ford Fiesta cooling fan replacement on my sister's 2017 Fiesta. And there were a few vlogs before this one where we were kind of trying to figure out why my sister's car kept overheating, and originally thought it was the coolant surge tank, or the degas bottles, what they call it. Hers did crack. We did replace it with a brand new one. However, the cracking of that probably resulted from the original overheating issue, which we would later find out the cooling fan was not working when it was supposed to be. So the car would overheat when it was at an idle for a long period of time, or when she was in the drive-thru, like she goes to Dunkin' Donuts all the time. So the lines at Dunkin' are always pretty long, and just sitting in the line, you know, especially in the summertime, the car would get warm, it would overheat, it would almost completely max out temperature gauge-wise, and it was just a bad situation. So we finally figured out the fan's not working. I did do a bunch of testing prior to this vlog, and they were documented in 2 other vlogs when we were actually testing for powers and grounds and all the stuff that we need to do to make sure the actual fan circuit was in check. And I did a little too much. I could have just gone straight to the fan connector with, you know, my multimeter or the test light, and knowing that the fans should be on, I should have been able to just go there and see that we have complete power and ground, and that would have told us right away the fan is no good. But just for the, you know, pure entertainment purpose of it, you know, I started from the top. I started at the fuses and the relays and worked my way to, you know, that connector, and then even power probing the fan itself and not getting any response. So we ended up finding a fan at the junkyard for $11. Power probed it here at the house. It works beautifully. And this vlog in particular, you know, we got to install it. So I'm just very happy with this vlog, with the pure fact that an $11 fan fixed the issue, and it is still working perfectly fine to this day at this current time. So that was a fun vlog to do. And again, it was on a car that was not my own. It was a pretty decent job to do. And just with all the electrical testing and stuff, even though all of that wasn't in this particular vlog, leading up to this, I kind of had a fun time trying to figure stuff out and just kind of making it for, for you guys as well. So the Fiesta cooling fan replacement video is one of my faves.
Oh, there it is. Heck yeah, baby. Nice. All right. That's it. Done. See, works perfectly fine. Woohoo! So glad we're done with that. All right. I am happy. She's gonna be happy. 210 was the magic number. Look, dropped it down to 195. Sweet.
I got two more to talk about, really, and then we'll wrap it up. So 372 is my next favorite vlog. The Grand Am hits 10,000 miles. And this vlog pertains to the 03 Pontiac Grand Am GT Coupe, also known as Jade. She has been on the road for 10,000 miles at that point in time, and that's a pretty big deal to me, for several reasons. She's an old car. We had to do an entire engine top-end rebuild when we got it, so I thought for sure that engine was smoked when I got this thing. I mean, it was making noise, it was ticking really loud, it was, filled with nothing but coolant and oil dilution, and it was just a mess. And I went ahead and rebuilt this engine anyway, thinking, once it was rebuilt with new head gaskets, new intake gaskets, clean lifters, all this stuff, I was, still thinking this engine's not going to make it. Well, guess what? I was entirely wrong. This engine is pulling through, and overall, the Grand Am in general really hasn't been too bad of a car to own for the $750 that I paid for it. So to commemorate 10,000 miles, we did a vlog where we just did a bunch of driving over the course of a few hours on a Sunday afternoon, because we were not far from the 10,000 mile mark on the odometer, and I figure, let's just document this. Let's get it to 10,000 miles since I bought the car. And of course, when I bought it, it couldn't be driven. So from the first day I got to drive it, the odometer started rolling. So 10,000 miles on a rebuilt engine, and still, mechanically sound for the most part. There really hasn't been any serious issues with the engine at all since it's been rebuilt. That's a big deal because it's an old car, like I said. 10,000 miles on work that I did. Not even sure if that engine was going to pull through or not. And she's still running really strong, and I'm still very happy with that car. Other issues, come and go with the car, of course. I mean, it's an 03, and she's got 130,000 miles on it now. So, I mean, at this point in time, we're over, I think, 12,000 miles on our journey with this car. And I still love it, and hopefully it just continues to treat me well for the time that I do have it. But this vlog's awesome. We did a lot of scenic drives, of course, and that's, again, like I said, anything where I can travel and stuff, even though it was a complete waste of gas, a complete waste of time, I still had a fun time making the vlog, just relaxing and cruising through, hours of that day. This is it. Gonna hit our 10,000 mile mark. There we go, 10,000 miles in. Dang. Amazing. 10,000 miles in. 10,000 miles in. Oh, I'm so happy. That's an incredible milestone for a car like this. A project car. Something that, I had to rebuild. So 10,000 miles on the engine since I rebuilt it, did the head gaskets. 10,000 miles since we, obviously did the coolant change. All of the stuff that entailed on actually getting the engine running back to proper health. 10,000 miles. That's awesome. All right. So this is going to be it. This vlog here that I'm about to say is probably, out of everything that I've mentioned here, this one is probably my most favorite that I've done. And it was more so almost like a movie in a way, because it is very long, and there were so many I guess like chapters to this particular vlog. It just turned out so well, and technically it took well over 2 years to make in a way, but the vlog is vlog 287. It is my most favorite vlog, and it is the final vlog for the 2001 Pontiac Aztek GT. This vlog was honestly a very difficult one to make. This entire vlog wrapped up our whole process of the 2001 Aztek from day one up until the day that I sold it, and a little bit of everything in between, of course. When I decided to sell the Aztek, and I really do regret selling it. At this point, I miss that thing so much. But when I decided to sell it, I knew I wanted this. I wanted this thing to go out with a bang. We have spent so much time, watching the Aztek come together over the years. I've spent a lot of money on getting this thing back together. Finally had it the way that I wanted it. It ran, for the most part, still pretty good. As mentioned earlier, she developed some issues at idle, but it didn't seem to affect anything when you were driving it. For the most part, that car was still top notch. Everything that I did to it paid off in the long run. And I decided to sell it to somebody who needed a car temporarily. And that being said, I figured now it was probably time to get something else for the channel. That's where the Grand Am came into play. But the Aztek, this particular Aztek vlog was, and it sounds kind of silly, it was very emotional to make. I filmed it over the course of like the 3 or 4 days that I had left with the Aztek. After telling the owner, the lady who bought it from me, after I made the arrangement with her on when she can come get it and stuff, I knew, we're gonna just make a vlog that's gonna kind of send this thing out with like a home run type, mentality. And it started off, the vlog me telling you guys that, I've decided to sell it, and I kind of went over a brief history and a lot of what the car meant to me. And then as the days went by, each day I was kind of filming something different. The one day I filmed the last time I gave it a good wash. I gave it a good wash and, a spray wax. And then, the day after that, I filmed us, cleaning it out for the last time and stuff like that. And then we had our last drive in the car, so I filmed the very last drive that I did with that car. And then there's a montage, and the montage is probably my favorite part of this entire vlog. I made a huge montage of maybe not everything, but a lot of all of the stuff that we've done to the Aztek over the years. So you literally see the very beginning of the tech all the way up, to what was pretty much the finished product, that the Aztek had become, and a lot of everything in between. It's just a sweet thing to put that together, like 2 years of progress in just, right there, just seeing little pieces of that thing come together, within this vlog. And then finally the day came where, I had, to let it go. And unfortunately I couldn't film the exact transfer of the car to the new owner. I had planned on filming the car leaving my driveway as the final ending of the video, with the new owner. But I wasn't able to do it. By the time she had come to get it, it was pouring rain outside, which is very suiting for a video of that nature. So, I mean, it would have been good, but I also had to go look at the Grand Dam now, too. I had made arrangements that to go look at the Grand Dam, and the Grand Dam was about an hour away, so I wanted to make sure to get there before, it got dark, so I can really see the car and such. So, at that point, she came to get the Aztec, and I just watched it leave, and I just have a mental picture of that in the rain. But yeah, it was a very tough video to make. As I was filming everything day by day, later on that night, I was actually throwing it together in the vlog, and I really remember when I was watching the footage of me giving it the last wash. I'm not gonna lie, it brought tears to my eyes, only because I got to see myself take care of it. It just really hit home with me when I watched that part of the video for the first time. And even putting that part together, it was very difficult. Like, I had to stop a few times and kind of keep myself together, and I almost called this lady and said I was going to change my mind. That car meant too much to me. I mean, that was my very first project, and a pretty successful one at that. And yeah, I mean, as I was putting that video together, it really started giving me doubts on whether I wanted to go through with this. But I can't do that. I had already promised her a car that she desperately needed for the time being, and I couldn't back out of that. That's not the kind of person that I am. But yeah, it was very emotional just watching me actually take care of this car, especially for the last time, and it just started to really come to me, like all of the stuff that I did to it and just how dedicated I was, and everything worked out pretty well. And I didn't have enough time with it, pretty much. I didn't have the chance to get sick of it, or it didn't have the chance to blow up. It was too soon. I was just not ready to get rid of it, and that's what it came down to. So that right there is so far, and probably will be, my all-time favorite vlog that I have ever done throughout my entire vlog series. And that's why. I mean, that one there is extremely emotional to me. It's extremely personal as well. And watching it just makes me feel proud of everything that I had done to that Aztec to pretty much bring it back to life. So that's it. I know that this video was entirely too long, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I never really had a chance, or honestly really even the thought, to talk about any of my favorite vlogs. And, out of the 400 that we have, I mean, yeah, I've got quite a few. But, hopefully this kind of has, gives you guys a little bit of insight on those particular vlogs. And, maybe if you were to go back and watch them after seeing this particular video, knowing, how I either feel about them or why I like them so much, maybe you guys will look at them a little bit differently. Who knows, especially that last Aztec one, But, I just want to thank you guys again for sticking around for 400 of these videos. And I'm just, at this point, as mentioned, it gets tougher and tougher as time goes on to, you know, find not only time to create these videos, but also topics. And, you know, if I had infinite resources, I'd go out and buy a new car maybe every so often, you know, just to, you know, fix something with it and then get rid of it and get something else. But my problem is I get too attached to the cars that I do have, especially the Grand Am, which has definitely been on this channel long enough now. But I'm still having fun with it, and I can't get rid of it. And I'm really hoping as we move into the springtime and summer and such, this is going to be the year that we, I think, really focus on the Saab, trying to really make improvements with the Saab. I really want to get struts for the front, and there's a chance that maybe we will be doing a steering shaft also. The intermittent steering shaft, I think, is why my wheel is slightly a little wobbly. Got some play in the wheel, and maybe we will do that. I don't know if that's something here that we can do at the house or whatnot, but I want to focus on the Saab as we get into the warmer weather around here, and I definitely would like to you know, keep up with that one as much as we can also. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this, where's the old graphic? I think it was like. So like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Happy 400 vlogs, guys. Take care.